Today, it's a showdown between a machine and a master. We've brought in Australia's top Master Sommelier, that's my opinion, to take on ChatGPT, the AI that claims to know everything. Can artificial intelligence beat decades of experience, palate training, and intuition? We're tasting wines, testing trivia, and finding out if machine learning can match master tasting. Welcome to Got Somme, the podcast where the wine's great and the competition's even better. Do you know what's even crazy? This is me speaking now, but ChatGPT wrote that intro, and in fact, they have structured this whole episode after I put in a prompt. Hello, I am Angus O'Loughlin, and next to me, Master Sommelier Carlos Santos sits ready to take on this guy. Are you nervous?
Yeah, a little bit, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what to expect, but I'm always up for a challenge.
Carlos, firstly, what do you think about the, AIs coming for everyone's jobs? Are they going to come for sommeliers in restaurants?
Possibly, as you say, once you are sitting at the restaurant and you give a prompt, I'm eating this and this, and what do you suggest? And I want to spend $50, and he picks the best bottle of wine for that food match immediately. I think it's really pretty scary, right? It's less like everything when it comes to AI is less personal, but maybe very, very efficient.
Well, today we're going to put it to the test. There's going to be a couple of parts to this episode. The first one is going to be, we're going to be trying a beautiful bottle of French Chardonnay. Carlos is going to come from just pure decades of knowledge of the region and maybe the winery or what to expect with tasting and assessing the wine. I'm just going to input it into ChatGPT with what it says on the label and also maybe what I'm assessing. And we'll find out who is better at assessing wine, AI or Carlos Santos. The second part is going to be a blind wine tasting. ChatGPT wanted to take you on, not me. So we're going to have a red wine. I'm going to enter in some prompts about what I'm assessing. You're just going to tell us what you're assessing, and we'll see who comes out closest once we reveal the bottle. This is going to be a fun episode.
All right.
And just like that, we have a wonderful, beautiful colour, Chardonnay in front of us from Parfumé. Did I say that right?
Puy-Fouissé.
Let me see if ChatGPT agrees. No, I'm kidding. Puy-Fouissé.
Puy-Fumé. Where is it, Puy-Fumé?
Oh, that's the Sauvignon Blanc that we had.
There you go.
Aha.
Very good.
Okay, so a big difference. ChatGPT wouldn't have got that wrong. That was me.
Well, the wine has this beautiful, deep golden color with a really intense, pronounced aroma to it. So on the nose, reflecting this really beautiful, ripe yellow apple, a touch of melon, a touch of tropical pineapple note to it. There is an underlying hint of spice with vanilla coming through, and then there's a slight floral character to it as well. Some more yellow flowers, actually. Now that the wine is warmed up in a glass a bit more, it's reflecting more slight yellow flower. Then on the palate, the wine is quite refreshing, with a quite good level of acidity, quite elevated acidity, I would say. Medium-bodied, but a warming, generous sensation to it, which to me brings back that pineapple, the slight melon, the ripe yellow apple, touch of vanilla, so indicating that the wine was aged in oak. But it just has this beautiful texture, all mouthfeel. Second sip brings a touch more acidity back and a little bit more zestiness, that slight lemon zest, which just makes it so pleasing and I think so unique for food and wine pairing. Look, you could go for any white fish, any white-fleshed fish, and I'm thinking of Murray cod. Murray cod and air fryer with sea salt, and that's it. That's all you need. If it's a good fish, then this wine will certainly complement. But you could be choosing as well some Conte cheese, 18 months, 24 months. That will be delightful with some pumpkin jam and walnuts on the side. That would be, unique. This wine really reminds me of being in Burgundy, maybe like 12 years ago, driving down the national road and ending at the last stop, which is Mâconnais, just before we get into Beaujolais, the two southernmost wine regions of Burgundy, and sitting with a winemaker, overlooking these beautiful hills peppered with vineyards in these beautiful limestone soils.
Very romantic, Carlos. ChatGPT, I've got two prompts that I've entered since you've been doing your description. Firstly, just to educate myself and the audience about, and please just immediately say if I mispronounce, and I will, the terms. But I prompted, tell me about Puy-Fouissé.
Puy-Fouissé.
As a wine region, and in particular Chardonnay. It's a prestigious wine appellation located in the Mâcon subregion.
Yeah. We touched that, yeah.
Yep.
So Macon, yeah.
I got it
Macon.
right. Pronunciation was right.
Good.
Great.
Macon, Pouilly-Fuissé, yeah.
And it exclusively produces Chardonnay.
Correct.
It is known for producing some of the most expressive Chardonnays outside of the Côte de Bourgogne,
Yeah, that's good.
often seen as more approachable or affordable counterpart to Meursault or Pouligny-Montrachet. And my second prompt was around the specific bottle that we have in front of us, the Louis Dory, Pouilly-Fuissé One Cru, La Maréchaude.
La Maréchaude, yeah.
Tells me a bit about the winemaker.
Yeah.
Small-scale family domain located in Boussières. So the location on steep southern-facing slopes below the Roche de Virgin. The name Mochard hints at warm tide microclimate, creating ideal ripening conditions. It's only 0.32 of a hectare and is 60 to 73-year-old vines. Pretty cool facts.
Yeah.
So it only has tasting notes on the 2022 vintage, and we are drinking the
21.
21. It says medium lemon is the appearance.
Uh-huh.
Nose, pronounced toasted hazelnut. Toast, yellow apple, smoke, butterscotch, baking spices.
Beautiful, yeah, good aromas.
Palate, dry, medium acidity and body. Flavors include toast, toasted hazelnuts, pear, lemon zest, yellow apple, crushed stone, and slight saline.
Yeah.
I've tasted it. It's pretty close.
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
Yeah.
I think...
It's obviously taking in the internet and previous sommeliers and winemakers' notes and just regurgitating them back to us. It does say the finish is long. For us, I think, I don't know, we both sort of said it might be a bit short.
For me, it's a bit short, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
a little bit short.
It's not the longest one I've tried for sure, but I don't think it's the shortest either, but it feels a touch short, yeah.
Now, I did ask for a food
There
pairing.
is a specific bottle.
Rich seafood,
Rich seafood, yeah.
lobster in butter sauce,
Of course.
creamy poultry dishes as the second option,
Yeah.
or foie gras.
That's typical my all options. Lobster, chicken, but I wanted...
No duck here. And its final thoughts. Louis Dory's La Maréchaude
Maréchaude.
is a standard expression of Pouilly-Fuissé, One Cru. Elegant, soulful, and sight-driven, it's a superb pick for Burgundy lovers seeking hidden gems. Gastronomic, age-worthy, yet precise to its Macon roots.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah, it's good.
As a Master Sommelier, what do you think about these notes? Remembering it's coming from a one-sentence prompt.
No, I think it's really good, of course. I mean, look, it's if he goes into 15 or 16 sources of theory and puts it all together in one sentence or in a few sentences, in a paragraph, of course, it's very, very cool. Not saying that you can fully trust it, because I think sometimes whoever putting the websites up can also have their own input and sometimes may not be exactly the most accurate thing, which has happened to me before, doing some research and then finding out that ChatGPT actually had some strong inaccuracies.
As a teaching tool, as like a friend, like a study buddy, I think if you're studying for your WSET or your Master Sommeliers or Sommelier, going for a badge, I think it could be super helpful.
Super helpful, of course.
But you are right. I mean, I think about like the Batuta Advocate, for example, which is a famous Australian satirical news source. So it kind of takes topical things and makes funny jokes out of them. But ChatGPT wouldn't understand that tone of satire. So it might take something that Batuta Advocate or Brown Cardigan or all these kind of satire, hilarious accounts are taken from the internet, taking them as fact and inputting them over here. On to our next challenge. Now it's time for the blind wine showdown. Master Sommelier versus AI. Can ChatGPT guess this glass of red wine in front of us without actually assessing the wine on the palate? Here's how it works. ChatGPT has organised this section. Sommelier tastes one wine blind. GPT receives the wine tasting notes inputted by the host or producer and tries to guess the variety, the region, and the vintage for fun. That's what it said. So you're going to try and do those three things. I'm going to input some assessment on this wine, and then we're going to see who gets closest. Also, I'm going to take a photo of the glass, and I'm going to send it to ChatGPT to see if it helps.
I'm not going to go into conclusion. I'm not going to say what I think it is. I will just give the tasting notes.
I'll enter my assessment, and then you'll do yours.
Okay. So
all right, you ready?
Yeah. All right. Well, color-wise, I mean, the wine is purple staining tears. It seems pretty youthful, like, deep ruby color with a light ruby red rim variation. Again, staining tears, no signs of sediments or gas whatsoever. Nose is clean with, I would say, medium plus intensity of aromas, mostly primary, all black fruit, black currant, black plum, black cherry, a little bit of fig, a little bit of spicy, a little bit of peppery, a little bit of violet. But yeah, I think there is that. It's mostly primary. There may be some touch of oak, but I think it may be old oak. Yeah, it's not really evident on any. It's mostly primary, as I was saying. Okay, so and it seems youthful. Okay, palate. Palate is full-bodied. Alcohol is quite warming, so I would say high alcohol. Tannins are medium plus, so it's all up there. Again, repeating the acidity. Acidity is important. I think is medium plus, but it feels a little bit unbalanced. The acidity, like it doesn't seem super integrated in the wine. Again, the black fruits coming, black currant, black plum, little fig, ripe fig. Touch more chocolate on the palate, so perhaps there may be some oak exposure, but not the primary source of aromas or flavors. Pretty short on a palate. It's okay. I think it's not overly complex either. It's mostly primary, a touch of secondary with that slight spice. Although there may be something from the grape itself, some white pepper, some black pepper. That's where I get the most, a little dustiness as well. We may be talking about some Shiraz varietals. I would exclude all the light varietals. Pinot Noir, Gamay, those are all excluded. I would exclude Cabernet Sauvignon as well because I don't get any pyrazines whatsoever. I don't get any of that bell pepper. I don't get any minty spiciness as well. I'm almost at eucalyptus tone as well if he was Australian.
ChatGPT has the answer, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Well, not the answer. I've got my guess ready. You're over there just reminiscing. ChatGPT's got it. Region, variety, and for fun...
It's young. Maybe I start with the vintage. This would be 2023. I don't pick enough floral for Malbec. I don't pick this high acidity and high tannin for the Sangiovese. I don't pick Tempranillo could be another option.
While Carlos is assessing, I put in the prompt, I'm in a blind wine tasting against the Master Sommelier. I will provide you assessment notes and you can please provide me the region, variety and vintage. It said, absolutely, Angus, I've got your back. Send through your tasting notes when you're ready. Let's beat this Master Sommelier.
That's what he said?
Yep. I said, here's a photo of the wine. And
if I don't get it right, we got to do it again.
I sent a photo of the wine. Before we do our guesses, I sent a photo of the wine. I said, thanks for the photo. Here's a first pass visual analysis based on what I can see. The colour is deep ruby with a slight purple rim, suggesting youth, probably less than 7 years. Mm-hmm. Intensity, high colour concentration and opacity. The core is saturated with minimal fade to the rim. Hard to determine the tiers from the photo alone. No visible bricking showing tertiary development yet, suggesting this is probably 2018 to 2022, roughly. Early hypothesis based off just the photo I sent of the glass. Could be New World, Australia, California, Argentina, but Old World regions like Northern Rhone, Ribera del Duero, or Left Bank Bordeaux are still in play, depending on the nose. To narrow down the confidence, it's going to need my assessment. I sent it. Nose, a mixture of dark and red fruits, mostly cherry. It asked if it's a soft or a richer cherry. I said a richer cherry. I said it's definitely got oak integration. And then I said... I would guess 14% alcohol. I think Shiraz or Cab Sav, it feels quite warm, it has medium tannin. And from just those little prompts, the photo and those little prompts, it's made its guess.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Carlos Santos, what do you think this wine is?
Well, I would go for my first instinct. Shiraz, but it's not the big, bold Australian, like South Australian Shiraz Barossa. I mean, it may be from the region, but there's all sorts of styles. I mean, I don't think he's one of the prominent big producers. But yeah, I'll stick with South Australian Shiraz. That was my guess anyway. So I'll go there. South Australian Shiraz, 23. I don't think it's hugely aged. I don't think there's been spent a huge amount of money on the wine, but...
Well, my assessment personally is it's a very unremarkable wine. I would say it's an entry-level wine, short finish.
Yeah.
Just it's just off with its integration across the board. Alcohol's here, tannins are here, fruits here.
Acidity's there.
Yeah, it's just not, compared to some of the wonderful Standish wines we've had of late.
Oh.
We're not in the same ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so ChatGPT has, just based off those small prompts, has gone for its refined best guess. Variety, Shiraz.
Okay. Well, we had the same page
Region,
at least.
Barossa Valley, Australia. Warm, known for rich cherry, integrated oak, and 14+% alcohol.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that makes
vintage
yeah,
2019 or 2020.
Like there's screaming alcohol for sure. Like plenty of staining tears.
It also said it also could be a warm climate Tempranillo. But
Yeah.
that's his guess. Shall we
Yeah.
find out what it is?
Yeah, I did was on Tempranillo as well, but I think it's not. There's no elegance. Oh, Kaesler. Oh, we're in South Australia.
We are in Kaesler. It's a 2022 Shiraz. Yep. So we are in the Barossa Valley.
Okay, well that's good.
Yeah, 14.5%
Well,
alcohol.
that was not that. Thank God.
Well, I think we're both right.
Yeah.
You were better with what vintage did I say? 19. I said 2019 or 2020, and it's a 2022. So you were
22,
more close with the vintage for fun. But yeah, I mean, we both were right.
But AI did pretty good. I mean,
For the fact
with
it didn't assess it.
But it's actually a nice producer, Kaesler. I mean, there's maybe
This is their entry level.
There's
This is
maybe the
$30.
very entry level, but they produce a wine, the Bogan and these Kaesler old vines and stuff like this, which are really really good. German background. Well, in fact, it was established in 1893, so that old. I've worked with these wines for a very long time, so it's nice.
You wouldn't have tried this entry level one though.
Probably not. Yeah.
No. There you go. ChatGPT remarkably well. Do I think it's going to come for our jobs? No. In the same way, I find it a novelty. I went to a Chinese restaurant recently and it dropped off dumplings by a robot that looked like a cat. And my daughter found it fantastic. And I went, what happened to someone, being there for a recommendation?
What happens if the robot on the way he passes by my table and a snack you order?
You could have eaten a dumpling off my plate.
Exactly.
But also, I think the romance of wine still needs to be remembered. As people who speak about wine, recommend wine, we certainly don't want to see robots taking people's jobs, especially when wine is hard to be sold at the moment. We're going to leave this episode of Got Somme quickly with some questions from you guys at Got Somme. We ask before every recording. I've got a few questions from Master Sommelier. Are you ready? How can we be part of the live audience? Follow us at Got Somme. We invite people to every recording. This one was a bit quick, so we didn't actually ask people to come to this one. But the next recording, if you want to be there, make sure you follow us. Carlos Santos, what's a wine that you secretly love that would shock your peers?
Well, yeah, definitely. If it comes to Christmas time and we're on the way, waking up in the morning. I mean, we have had this conversation before, but I do like sparkling Shiraz. Sparkling Shiraz because it reminds me of the wines from Portugal when I go, and have suckling pig in Bairrada, and have a sparkling red. I always love those. I mean, some sherry, some Spanish sherry.
You do like fortified wines,
I do like, an Oloroso, an Amontillado. Can be, sometimes a little bit confronting with some people, but they're so complex, they're so intense, they're beautiful.
Thank you very much for these two questions from Masked and Uncorked. What's your all-time favorite unconventional food and wine pairing?
Well, look, I mean, I'm not into very, very sweet wines. So, Shiraz and chocolate, it's always one that I like. There was one that I really, really enjoyed, which was sea urchin, which is that really salty, seafood. So sea urchin. And there was a Georgian wine, very dusty, very, very savory. So that worked really, really well. But I mean, look, it's very, very fine dining restaurant thing. No one goes in a market, I guess, and brings a bottle of Georgian wine and this is with sea urchin. But, if you get to try it. Yeah.
Crazy. This one as well comes from DannyLow.jpg. Is it possible to find value in Burgundy? Now, this is... Okay, I'm going to set the tone for this question. In Australia, no, there's not. It's just not.
Yeah.
If you're in Burgundy...
I think if you're in Burgundy, yes, for sure. You can find great bottles. I think in Australia, probably go for Village Wines. Premier Cru, they start going completely crazy. But yeah, Village Wines, there's some good value.
Especially at auction, grace.com. That's the questions that we're going to answer on this one. If you do want to join us in the studio, you can at Got Somme on Instagram. Carlos Santos, well done for beating a plethora of information on the internet. It's pretty amazing that you got to the space of, for one, guessing that wine better than ChatGPT, but also to provide that romance. It can't talk about the time it walked through the vines in Burgundy, so I think you still have that in the bag.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm happy I got that.